fifth season by N.K. Jemisin because I finished it. And we're going to start off with I recommend the book. I highly recommend you read this book, especially if you love fantasy, sci-fi, or dystopian books. This was such a great read for me. We're only in February, and I'm already thinking that this is going to be one of my top reads for 2025. Like, top rated book that I've read for the year. And I still got a lot of books to read, right? It was such a good book because there was journeys of self-discovery. Um, One of the characters gets bullied. She's just not treated the best. And I'll get into it. And also, no spoilers in this video. I'll just give a basis of what the book is about and hope that that pushes you to go and read it. Um, you know, if you want to. So the book follows 3 points of views. I know some people don't like that, but just know you'll need all 3 points of those views. You need all three of those journeys. To me, it was easy to follow whose journey we were going into. So each chapter only focused on that one person for that chapter. It wasn't bouncing around and mixing the characters. It was bam, we on this person now. Next chapter, bam, we on this person. So chapter 1 starts with Essen. Essen, I believe, is in her probably like 40s or 50s. She has 2 children. And the book started off just crazy already. Gut-wrenching event that happened. Sad moment. And she's on a journey to find her husband because he has something of hers that she needs. Because why you just leave like that is the big question. Why you just leave? Stick around. That's all I'm gonna say. I ain't gonna spoil it. I ain't gonna ruin it. But on her journey of trying to find her husband, she meets some new people. And she doesn't know at first how to grasp this feeling of being around people that is not her like family or like people in her community that she lives in, or what as they refer, or as N.K. Jemisin refers to them, comms. Chapter 2 then gets into Demaya. Demaya is going to be the kid that you'll follow and read about in the book. Demaya was not loved correctly once it was known that she was an origin. And origins are individuals who can create earthquakes or seismic or kinetic energy type events. So, earthquakes or volcanic eruptions and even tsunamis. And she was not loved correctly. Her parents ended up despising her because they found out that she was an origin. So they called some folks at the fulcrum thinking that, and when Shafa, who is going to be Demaya's guardian, came to their home, she was thinking she was being sold because she was like, she hears about children being sold all the time and it's not a good thing. So she's scared. She doesn't know what to take out of this moment. And Shafa, I feel like, did a great job of explaining who he was to her and making sure that she understood why he was there. And then once she knew that, I think that's when she felt love from a stranger. And I feel like that was her first time ever being loved by a stranger. And he takes her, I feel like he takes her out of a bad situation, or a situation that could have definitely went bad. And I just feel for Demaya. Demaya was actually one of my favorite characters, and I loved reading her chapters each time I would come up, it was her turn to be read about, because you saw the growth, like you read about the growth. And she was bullied in her calm. She was even bullied at the um, um, fulcrum, which is in Humanez, which is where a lot of the children origins go to be trained to, so they can learn how to control their originy. And once she gets to Humanez and she's around other origins that are just like her, children just like her, more bullying continues. And I felt like she thought, oh, I'm going to be around people like me. Um, it's going to get a little bit easier. And that definitely wasn't the case for her. And I really felt for her. But I just really enjoyed, like I said, the growth in her journey to control her origin and to find some sense of balance within herself. And then chapter 3 gets into Cyanite, aka Cyan. And Cyan, I believe, is like in her 30s. So probably mid 30s, late 30s. And she has to go on this journey with this guy named Alabaster, who is going to be her overseer. And they also have to procreate. So they have to produce a baby. When I tell y'all that this book had me fucked up about the way that they treated origins, there were some derogatory terms, and the way that I looked at them, they're called, origins are called ragas. That is spelled Rogga. What I did was replace, like, I did this little thing where every time I would see that, I would think in my mind, I would reread the sentence, and I would spell out the derogatory term that my ancestors were called, and we continue to be called. We just, I feel like, took the word back. We made it something that they didn't like, that because they always want to try and say it. But I would replace it with that word, and I was like, ooh, I can feel the fire. I can feel the intensity behind that word, and I understand why origins feel the way that they feel about people who are not an origin. And it really hit different. It really hit different because you really see how origins are treated. They're treated like straight shit, like dog shit. But there are the ones helping to protect these non-origins from being wiped off the fucking map. And it hit home because it was just like, wow. N.K. Jemisin wrote this book. And once you read it, you start to reflect and be like, damn, that's how we've been treated as blacks. That's how our ancestors were treated. We're going to use you for your services, but we're going to call you derogatory terms. We're going to treat you like shit. We expect nothing less from you. We expect perfection at all times. We expect perfection, nothing less than perfection. And that's what I feel like Origins had to always produce. No second guessing. Perfection at every turning corner. Yeah. It made me feel some type of way. Now, I wasn't angry reading this book. Let's start there. I wasn't angry. It was an emotional read throughout some parts of the book, but you know, I felt like people got what they deserved. Is how I feel. But if you need help understanding exactly what an origin is, if you've ever watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, Earthbenders. That's all the origin is. They can stop an earthquake. They can stop a volcanic eruption, but you gotta. I feel like your skill level gotta be up there to stop a volcanic eruption from happening, and not, yeah, cause a catastrophic event from happening, from stopping it. But also, skill level peak if you can stop a tsunami. Because that was another one that, reading about it in the book, I was like, dang, that's crazy. That some of them could actually control making a tsunami and even stopping it. Like, you had to have the strength and willpower to, like, you had to be strong as hell. But when you think about earthbenders on, last Avatar: Last Airbender, Toph, she was an amazing, like, she was actually one of my favorite characters. She was an amazing earthbender. And she had these peak level skills. Because if y'all remember, well, if you've ever watched it, if you remember, she created metal bending. Like, she was the first person to ever metal bend as an earthbender. So think of that peak level skill set. And then, if you got into watching Legend of Korra, you saw it was some more moving parts that was then introduced to some of the bending, water benders. If you peak level, you could blood bend. Crazy, right? Earthbenders, peak level, metal bending. I think airbenders, I think it was mainly just airbending, and then firebenders could, if you were peak level, you could bend lightning. Like, you could charge lightning, but you could also, like, shoot out lightning. It was dope. It was dope. So if you are a lover of Avatar: Last Airbender, I think you might actually like the 5th season. Cause that was my, like, link. I was like, I know what's going on. And it helped. It helped that I watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, understood the process of bending and the history behind it. Yeah. It was dope. The 5th season was dope. In book form. But each 3 of these characters have their own journeys that they are embarking on. Now, there are a few plot twists in the book. There are a few mouth-covering moments that you're just like, what? Because that was me. That was me a lot. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. But otherwise, this was a great book to read. I am so happy that I finally picked it up. I can't wait to get in book 2, which is the Obelisk Gate, next month. Cannot wait. I got 2 weeks left. That one I will be doing a buddy read on Storygraph. Well, a read along, buddy read, whatever you want to call it. But I cannot wait. If you have read this, let me know in the comments what you thought about it. If you liked it, if you loved it, if it was meh, it was cool, it was alright, when all that. Because again, reading is subjective. Reviews are opinions, that's all. Reading is subjective. Reviews are opinions. So, that's my little quick blurb, babbling talk about the 5th season with no spoilers. No spoilers. Because I ain't gonna do that to y'all. But I really enjoyed this book. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. And don't forget to read a book. Read a book. Think about yourself today. buy a book if you need to, too. But I'll see y'all later.